We are talking the latest Detroit Lions news and rumors, and a lot of stuff's going on in free agency. Hell, maybe something happens while I'm recording this or while you're watching this. But as of now, I'm going to just give you the update for the Detroit Lions in the rumors and news category. But before we get into today's video, if you are a fan of the Detroit Lions, you like free agency, the NFL draft, everything regarding the Honolulu Blue and Silver, you need to subscribe to this channel. Why is that? Because that's all I do on this bad boy. Also, if you can do me a favor really quick, smash that like button. It does help out. Let's get this thing going. This video primarily is talking about the latest news and rumors regarding DJ Chark. It's like Chark Watch on this channel. Until we figure out where he's going, I still want to talk about it. Mel Kuiper mock draft. He just dropped it. Good, bad, ugly. Is it realistic? Is it full of BS? I'm going to give you my thoughts. Lions trade rumors, because ever since the Lions picked up players in free agency to help this team out, there have been some trade rumors regarding our beloved Detroit Lions, so we'll get into that as well. Let's start with Chark here. The latest right now for DJ Chark is there's two teams involved, the Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions. That is pretty much it. And so we got to look at the cap space here. Panthers got $17.5 million and $19.69 million for our Detroit Lions. So both teams can sign DJ Chark if they really want to sign him. They got the cap space. They can get it done. What is Chark looking at? Well, per Spot Track right now, it's a 3-year deal around $28.75 million with an annual average here of $9.5 million. Is that worth it? Well, he did 10 last year for the Detroit Lions, and obviously the injuries he had in the first part of the season didn't help, but he really got on pace with the Lions here with Jared Goff and their offense. And there's some good news and bad news for this. Start with the bad news here. If Chark is looking to be a more involved player, maybe a number 1/number 2 wide receiver, he'll get that over there at the Carolina Panthers because the depth there at wide receiver is not as good right now as the Detroit Lions. They just signed Adam Thielen to a 3-year deal, and he's not, in the best part of his career. So if he wants that type of opportunity, he'll get it over there. But the good news is he wants to return to the Detroit Lions. He's said that multiple times. He had a great time here last year in Detroit. So if he wants to stay in the D, he can stay in the D, and that's hashtag facts for sure. But let me know in the comment section right now, would you sign DJ Chark to the Spot Track contract here? A 3-year, $9.5 million. Why for yes and N for no? Let me know in the comments below. Let's go ahead and talk about the mock draft for Mel Kuiper Jr. He just talked about it. He just posted it. So I'm going to give you my thoughts here. And with the 6th pick in the 2023 Mel Kuiper mock draft, the Detroit Lions select Jaylen Carter. Now, I love Jaylen Carter's production. I think this guy is a really damn good player, but there is issues, legality. That stuff's behind him with the car wreck. But he also had a really bad pro day where he could not finish the drills, something that Todd McShay said he's never seen before, ever, out of a prospect, and he came in overweight. From what I've heard is the Lions would not take him. Is that smoke? It could be BS. It could be for sure. But if you do look at what Brad Holmes likes and what Dan Campbell likes, they likes the never-ending motor, the guys that love football, eat, breathe it. We all know it. The Dan Campbell type of kneecap biter. So even though he's a dominating player and, before the car issue and before the pro day, he was the number 1 prospect on the board, the Lions probably will pass on him in all honesty. So as much as I like Jaylen Carter and I think he is still a very good player, I would take him at 6. The odds of him going to Detroit drastically decreased after this past month. So I just don't believe the Lions are going to take him. I think they would pass on him. But I can't get mad at Mel Kuiper Jr. taking Jaylen Carter to the Lions because we have a needed defensive tackle, and he is the number 1 rated prospect on the board. Of course, you would do that. With the next selection, though, for Mel Kuiper, I got a disagreement here. Mel Kuiper goes, Michael Mayer at pick 18 for the Detroit Lions taking the tight end here. I have a major problem with the Lions taking a tight end. First, we don't need a tight end. Everyone gets hooked on, not Lions fans because we know this, but in the media, we traded TJ Hockenson, thus we need a need at tight end. That's not the case at all, folks. We traded TJ Hockenson because we don't need a primary number one tight end. We don't. When we traded him, he went to a good situation. They needed that type of player over there in Minnesota, but our production of tight ends got much improved after he left with Brock Wright, Shane Zylstra, and James Mitchell, who we did draft last year, and they're really high on. The Lions don't need a tight end. I would rather go wide receiver here, offensive guard, running back, a defensive line, linebacker, safety, even though we're good there, cornerback, quarterback. I pretty much would go at any other position on this football team besides tight end. The production just does not match what we have. It just doesn't work. So I give this a flat F for Mel Kuiper Jr. Everyone is just so stuck on the idea that we trade Hockenson, we need a tight end high. That's just not the case. It really isn't. And yes, our needs has drastically decreased due to free agency, but you can look towards next year. Say if you don't have you could get a wide receiver, you could get a running, you could get offensive line, you could go defensive line, you could go any other way besides tight end. We just don't need it. And that is my thoughts on this. I really do. But let me know. Grade Mel Kuiper's mock draft round 1 for the Detroit Lions. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments below. I like Jalen Carter. I don't think the Lions go that route. I like Michael Mayer as a prospect, not as a Detroit Lion. No tight end, no. So my grade would be absolutely low because it just seems that way to me. But there has been a lot of trade rumors after the first week of free agency because the Lions went crazy picking up players. So a lot of needs are off the board. So what does that mean? Well, you beefed up the DB room and you don't have many needs. So the Lions could trade in the draft. So there's been rumors. Could the Lions trade up? Could the Lions trade down? Both, yes. So I did 2 scenarios, both trading up and both trading down. And a player is the odd man out after free agency. He don't seem like he's going to be the long piece to the Detroit Lions, and that's Jeffrey Okudah. So in my first trade-up scenario, I went up the Lions going from 6 to 3 to select Will Anderson. The Cardinals get Jeffrey Okudah. They lost Byron Murphy to free agency to the Minnesota Vikings, and they get pick 55. If you look at the trade comp that they have there for, going up or down the point spread, that is right about right there. Jeffrey Okudah in pick 55. The Lions get pick 3, get Will Anderson. Why do I say this? That the Lions could trade up? Well, we don't want to lose draft pick, folks. With the Lions' amount of draft picks that we have now in the roster is extremely upgraded from what was last year. You're not going to have players that get drafted make this team. There's a good chance it happens where, if you have 8 draft picks, 3 of these guys may not even make the team. So they go to the practice squad or get picked up by another squad. So that is something you got to pay attention to here. So with the trade up, the Lions still have round 1 pick 3. They have pick 18. They have a 2nd round pick. They have the 3rd round pick, a 5th, and 2 6th. And, at this point, you get a premium talent at 3, someone you like, and you get players that's going to help your team out. And you do risk some players not making the team because the roster is so good. So I think this is a legitimate option for them, especially after going Cameron Sutten, Gardner Johnson, Moseley. You don't have as much issues to fill. And what if they're not getting they don't want to get Jalen Carter? He's off the board. You want to make sure you get a premium talent so you get that Will Anderson, because Will Anderson may not be there at 6. Tyree Wilson may not be there at 6. So they're like, you know what? Screw it. We'll give up a draft pick. We'll give up Okudha. Go ahead. We'll get our talent there. And to fill Okudah's spot, you can draft a guy in round 5 or round 3 or round 2, whatever you want to go to help that out. That is an option for the Lions. What if you're like, you know what? We don't want to do this. We want to trade back. Well, you can do that for sure. So in this scenario, Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson's off the board. They're not taking Jalen Carter. They're like, F it. We're going to trade back. A team wants to get a quarterback. Will Levis is available. Titans want to get a quarterback. So we trade out of pick 6, and we go to pick 11. So the Titans get pick 6. The Lions receive pick 11, a third-round pick this year, pick 72, and a first-round pick next year, and which is really important. We have a lot of free agents that hit next year. Instead of re-signing these guys to big contracts, you can go ahead and draft their replacement. Or if Jared Goff doesn't work out, you have 2 first rounds to trade up to get a quarterback. But you say, Mike, you just to talk about getting draft picks, the amount, that's not going to help out. You know, some of these guys won't make the team 100%. But with 2 second-round picks and 2 third-round picks, you damn well can trade back up in the NFL draft to get a premium talent in round 1. So this is what it would look like. You have pick 11, 18, 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 48 and 55, 2 in the third, 72 and 81. You could trade right back up in that first round and get a premium talent. You absolutely can. And the Lions have the cap space to deal with these first-round picks if they wanted to do that. You could definitely trade back up and get a high pick. Maybe you want to give up a third and a second to go up in the first round. You can do that. And you get your premium talent. You're not wasting draft picks. And the team is much better. I'm fine with either scenario, in all honesty, folks. I want this team to have premium talent and continue to make some noise. And I don't want to get a player that's a bust or anything like that. So I'm up getting premium talent, trading up and trading down. I am perfectly fine with that. But let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Videos dropping every single day. We got the One Pride podcast on Thursday. You don't want to miss out on that bad boy. With that said, folks, adios.